broadcasting. So whenever you guys get ready to announce, we're good to go. And you want to stand out there and do it, or you want to do it here? It might be easier to do it out there.
Playing at the 39. Tyler Garcia. Gets a couple yards.
I left my glasses in the car.
Every time I see Courtney, she
Check. Check, check. Check, check, check. Hello. Check, 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 check. Hello, hello, hello. Nothing. Check. Mic check. Mike. Hey, Mike, can you hear me? Check. Check, check. Streaming live, we're 10 seconds away from the 7th grade game first half completion. 10 seconds left on the clock. Bulldog ball, 4th down and 4 on their own, on the Hilldale 40-yard line. Score 7 to the Hornets 18. Timmons breaks one up the middle, but is brought down after a good gain. Got us a 1st and 10. We're going to stop the clock with 5 seconds remaining as they stretch chains. Bulldogs charged with a holding penalty that brings them back to a 4th and 10 from about the Hilldale 45-yard line. 5 seconds remaining in the half as they go into a shotgun formation. Looks like a pass play over the middle. Bowman catches the ball. Good for a 1st and 10 as time expires. First half complete. Wagoner Bulldogs 7, Hilldale Hornets 18. Looks like we have second half action underway or getting ready to start. Bulldogs are taking the field. Appears that Bulldogs will be receiving to start the second half. Anybody know a sponsor tonight? And the kick's in the air.
Ball picked up by Alex O'Quinn.
Alex O'Quinn, number 4 for the Bulldogs, picks it up and is brought down at the Bulldogs' 40-yard line. Brummets under center, pitches the ball out. Sweep goes to the right side, number 22. I do not have a Bulldogs roster tonight. It's good for about a 4-yard gain for the Dogs. Second down, inside trap to Bowman right up the middle. I'm sorry, that's going to be Levi Harris right up the middle. Levi Harris got a good block from Kane Bowman. Good for about a 12, 15-yard gain. Bulldogs ball on the Hilldale 44-yard line. First and 10, Dogs. I'd like to give a quick shout out and thank you to our sponsors for tonight, Smokin' Sisters Barbecue, located at Meats and More in Wagoner on Highway 69, just south of in Meats and More. Three Rivers Surgical Center, Armstrong Bank, Cherokee Temps, and Cowboys Coney Island. Bulldogs moving the ball. First and 10. Number 24 for the Dogs takes the ball straight gut. Looks like a 3-hole drive there for about 2 yards. It's going to be second and 8, Bulldogs. We appreciate all our sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring a quarter or a half or a game, contact Joy Anderson at Wagoner High School, 918-485-5553. Bulldogs trying to sweep around the left side, pitches out to number 24, and he has a little bit of running room, but he's going to be brought down short of a 1st and 10. It's going to be about 3rd and maybe a long one. No, it looks like 3rd and 2. Nice run. Good sweep. Joy Anderson, Mass Communications, 918-485-5553, extension 2650. Inside trap, straight up the middle, good for a 1st and 10, Bulldogs. It looks like the first time that we've been able to maintain a drive. They got a breakaway on their lone score in the first period. Second half, everything that is on the board was Hilldale. And to start the second half, we have burned up about 5 minutes of the clock on this drive. We sustained the drive down to our 20-yard line. Bulldogs carrying the ball up the middle, and he's tackled for a very short gain. I believe that's going to be Timmons, the ball carrier. Maybe a short one. Trying to sweep this time around the right-hand side. Timmons carrying the ball again, this time for about a 7-yard gain down to the Bulldogs' 12-yard line. Going to be 3rd and 2. Another inside trap. Timmons bounces off 2 would-be tacklers and tries to bounce it to the outside and gets tackled for a short loss. It's going to be 4th down, 6 yards to go from the Hilldale 15-yard line. This time inside trap to Harris. Harris breaking tackles, good for the 1st and 10. Bulldogs 1st and goal to go from their own 5-yard line. Levi Harris, son of Duke, old Wagoner quarterback from back in 95. 96, 97 quarterback. That is confirmed by Officer Powell. Officer Powell in the press box with us tonight. This time, Timmons carrying the ball following the blocking of Harris. Good for about another yard, maybe yard and a half gain. Going to be 2nd and goal from the 3. That's going to be the end of the 3rd period. The Bulldogs maintaining that drive for the entire 3rd period. Start of the 4th quarter is going to be Bulldogs ball, 3rd and 3 from their own the 3rd and goal from the 3.
Come on, dogs! Come on, dogs!
Starting the fourth period, 7th grade football action. Bulldogs 3rd and goal to go from their own 3-yard line. Timmons a ball carrier, and he's brought down at about the 1-yard line. Going to be 4th and a long 1, maybe 2 yards to go. Timmons in. Timmons in for the touchdown. He was reaching across the line to make sure that he broke the plane when the ball slipped out of his hands, but it had already broken the plane, thus resulting in a touchdown. Bulldogs. Your score, 13-18. Bulldogs are going to attempt the extra point, try to run it in, pitched it to the outside, and whistles blow, killing the play. It's going to be an offsides penalty on Hilldale. Going to go half the distance to the goal line and try it again. Bowman bringing the play in for the Dogs, taking the play to Tate Brummett. Brummett going back under center. Brummett, Harris, and Timmons in the eye. This pitch to Timmons, and he's going to go in for just short. I'm sorry. Going to be just short. Fourth quarter action, Bulldogs 13, Hilldale Hornets 18. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors for this evening. Smokin' Sisters Barbecue, Janie Bobo, Amy Matthews at Meats and Coney Island, located west of 69 on Highway 51. Looks like the big Hilldale running back got the ball. It's their quarterback, good-sized kid with good speed, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. So Hilldale's going to answer, or the Bulldogs' quarter-consuming drive with a touchdown on the ensuing kickoff. I don't see any laundry on the turf. I'm looking, and I don't believe there's going to be anything down. No, that score's going to count. Wagoner Bulldogs 13, 75-yard run brings the Hilldale Hornets score to 24. Fourth quarter action, 6:06 remaining. Your sponsors, Two-Way Sales and Service, Kangas Productions, Leslie Kangas, Century 21 Real Estate, Charlotte Swinson, Van Taekwondo, Sensei Van, Runts Barbecue, Three Rivers Surgical Center, Armstrong Bank, Cherokee Temps. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors. All right, Bulldogs going to take the ball back at their own 40-yard line. Hilldale tried a little squib kick or trying to keep it away from our running back, it looked like. Didn't want a catastrophe like we just had against us. Number 5 for Hilldale has been the bread and butter of their team at quarterback and running the option. It looks like they were running a no huddle there for a little while. Number 5, I'm sure the coaches are telling the kicker, do not kick to him, and that's who the ball's going to go to if you ever say that to a 7th grader. But Brummett under center, pitching the ball out to Timmons. Timmons trying to go wide left and cuts it back to the inside, reversing the field and breakaway up the middle. Last man catches him. That safety, number 2, catches Timmons after an 11-yard gain. Going to be 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the Hilldale 49. Timmons again. This time it's going to be a dive, an inside play. Good for about 4 yards. It's going to be 2nd down, 6 yards to go from the Hilldale 45-yard line. Bulldogs ball. We're going to have to put some points on the board. 12-point deficit, 2 scores. No matter how you look at it, that's 2 scores.
He doesn't pre-approve it on denial claim, then it goes to the next board meeting, and the cutoff is the last business day of the previous month. Okay. So we get those.
So I was 4 days past, because I know it was like on the 4th, and then
Stop the clock.
What? Come on, dogs.
If anyone out there sees Larry Milligan or has his number, please call him and tell him to go back to work. Timmons going to break one on the far left side, a sweep, and outruns the last man. He's going to go all the way. 45-yard touchdown. Looked like a 7-hole sweep. Timmons all the way. Oh, touchdown. What? 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 All right, Milligan, if you're listening, call your dad. Tell him to get back to the press box. Bulldogs getting back in the ball game, 19-25. Bulldogs 19, Hornets 25. 4:01 remaining in the 4th period. Jesus Aguilar is going to tee it up for the Dogs. I'm looking for an onside kick here. Hilldale's moving up on the ball with their hands team. Ball bounces across it, and the ball's free. Bulldogs ball. Bulldogs going to take possession of the ball. The onside kick is successful for the Dogs at their own 49-yard line. I'm sorry, that's going to be at the Hilldale 49-yard line. Bulldogs ball, 1st and 10. Timmons, the ball carrier, this time he breaks 2 would-be tacklers and goes for about 9 yards. I believe that was designed to go to the left side. Timmons ran into traffic, reversed the field, and goes back to the right. Going to be good for a long 8. 2nd and 2 from the Hilldale 40. Timmons, lone man in the backfield. Going to go with a, going to go, it looked like they were going to try a flea flicker, a pass play, a little trickery. Timeout, Bulldogs, 3rd down, 11 yards to go. As play is resuming, 2:57 remaining in the game. Bulldogs ball at the about midfield. Brummett hands the ball off to Timmons. Timmons good for about a 2-yard gain. Going to be 4th down, 9 to go. Bulldogs in a hurry up, 41 seconds, 40. Dogs go to the line. Got a 2-man backfield. Looks like Harris and Timmons in the backfield. Harris going out of Wildcat, and he's going to be sacked. Timmons is going to be sacked for a 7-yard loss. Turning the ball over. Hilldale ball. 2:25 remaining in the contest. Going to have an option play, quarterback keeper, good for a 3-4 yard gain. Once again, that's number 5 for Hilldale. That Hornet has been the go-to guy for their team. Number 5, Tyler Goad. Tyler Goad, Hilldale Hornet, the man, he's their quarterback. Mike linebacker, he's the one that returned the kickoff after the last Bulldog score. He returned the kickoff for a Hilldale touchdown. He's the one that's kept him in the game. I want to hear it. I've been talking to myself. I told your son in New Mexico to call you.
my first thought was, when you talk to yourself, you're talking to your best friend.
That's true. That's true. I'm never bored.
That's right. Do I have headphones or I just get to hear myself?
Yep. You're all like Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we have 157 remaining in the game. Hilldale ball, 2nd and 6 from the Bulldog 40-yard line. Anybody see Larry Milligan? Larry Milligan. Can you hear me now? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to introduce Mr. Larry Milligan.
I just wanted to be able to hear you, so.
That was a mic check.
Yeah, I know. That was.
Did you know Mike?
I didn't know Mike. I know a lot of Mikes. Known a few Mikes in my time.
I wish Mike was playing linebacker for us right now. We are down 19-25, minute 50 remaining in the contest. Hilldale ball.
Talked to some of the coaches today, and they were telling me that this would be. I didn't think that Hilldale. We scrimmaged them earlier, and I couldn't remember how Hilldale was, but they were telling us how good they were. And I tell you what, this number 5 they have is a pretty exceptional athlete. We watched a lot of 7th grade games this year, and he's as good as we've seen.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best ones we've seen this year. Quarterback running the option well, Mike linebacker, and running back the kickoff.
Very rarely can I say I'm too tall for anything, so.
Are you kidding me right there?
What you got going on? What was happening? Tyler Goads going around the left side and touchdown saving tackle. Looks like he's brought down by Bulldog number 48, but that's good enough for a 1st and 10. We are Bulldogs out of timeouts. Minute 40 left in the game. That probably going to be able to wrap this one up.
And I really thought, and of course we watched them last weekend, or 2 weeks ago, at Locust Grove in a good ball game, and I really thought that once we got the onside kick, with us being exactly where we wanted to be, basically, we were going to be in good shape to win the ball game. And of course, give credit to Hilldale; they stepped up and did a great job stopping us on the offense.
They did. I thought momentum was going our way, and we were going to make something happen.
I wanted to take this time, since I just got here to get started, to say congratulations to Hilldale High School girls. Won the 4A softball championship this past Saturday, and that was quite a feat. Anytime you're able to win a state title and bring it to our area, even though it's a little north of us, but a little south of us. Do that kind of stuff. It's really good for our community and good for our area. So congratulations to Hilldale girls on a 4A softball state championship.
A lot of their programs here seem to be on the upswing. Their golf program's great, and they've got football has come around tremendously over the last couple of months.
In victory formation, some sort, they are taking a step, taking a knee, and that's going to end the ball game right there. It's a great ball game tonight. One where all the fans really enjoy.
Going to be final score: your Wagoner Bulldogs 19, Hilldale Hornets 25.
Back with me or what?
I'm staying.
Out of here.
Don't leave.
I'm out of here.
Why are you out of here?
30 minutes.
You watch one game, you can't. That's a fair weather frame.
No, I came to watch
the whole game.
I came to watch a cheer game.
Well, we'll cheer in this one too.
I watched my granddaughter.
Kendra's here. Kendra. Hey, Kendra.
Hey, 3 weeks in a row, she's still cranky. I saw that too.
Say hi.
No.
Come on.
You gonna come up here and see me? I'll drag you through. Come around. I won't drag you through the window.
We got a 4-second delay.
Come here.
They were calling Kendra's ear. It was stuck in my head. Sherry. There's a 4-second delay, so we can bleep out anything. You want to do this?
But we probably won't, so just be careful. Just saying.
You have a full half of the pig. So half
Just that one over there.
there.
Yeah.
At halftime, just take this back and if you want to fill it on the video.
So one of you guys gonna be nice enough to give my husband a ride back to Wagoner?
Yeah, I will. He can ride with Joy and the boys, or with me and Tyler, and Cody probably, whatever. I just told him the only reason we drove is because my mom and them drove up from Davis to watch Cody play, so there's a good chance that we may stop, meet somewhere, or be out later than we really want to be.
You didn't text me back.
You know, I swear this is true.
Uh-oh.
David
Anybody-
Cantrell
any man
called
starts,
me
I swear
for-
this is true.
Well, because I'm on my phone so much, no one believes me. David Cantrell called or texted me and said, "Hey, do you have Jackie Ellis's number?" As I'm scrolling through my phone, it goes dead, and I'm at school. So my charger's at home. I have no charger
Oh
at school.
no.
So I got two home, plugged it in, and I got you a text after I finally got enough power to turn it back on, which was about 4:30 or so. And I was like, great.
I figured you had something going on.
That's when I called Robert. I called Robert right when I got her text. And
Yeah,
said,
it was-
whatever you want to.
It was even after, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
after
it was close.
4:30.
It was like 4:45 or something.
Okay. I'm going home and watching The Voice. If you want to know the truth, that's why I'm leaving.
Why are you leaving?
The Voice is on.
Wasn't the voice on last night?
What are you gonna do down there?
Say the voice. I know it's good this year.
I know, it really is.
Hey.
Jamie, I can't believe you just said that.
Never mind.
Why aren't you on there?
I am. My brother is my twin. Hello.
Man, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was pointing at you.
Contestant.
Turn his chair around.
Yeah.
He's turned his chair around.
You gotta get your head checked to get your own.
Tattoo on there. I can't believe he put a tattoo on top of
It's
it.
not. It's on there for the not cover.
On what?
Well, I'm gonna find your granddaughter. I already asked her. She was right back. It's right back with me.
I ain't break my wife out. Come on. Gospel show coming in summertime.
Really? I didn't hear.
It's on BET. They run it Saturday. Kurt Franklin, Sunday's best. Kurt Franklin hosts it.
Yeah, under 3 minutes. Hurry.
Fantastic. You go all the way through. I could be written off. I just go on there just because I know I can't sing. Just because I know I can't sing.
Just because.
I'm gonna dress like Mr. Brown.
Yep.
Something Mr. Brown.
Bye, guys. Bye, Larry. Bye, Vic.
See ya.
Got a good looking line, don't they? A couple of those kids.
They got a pretty good looking team.
Yeah, they do. Got some size. That hurts. When they started recruiting, the Muskogee second string to come over and start for them, they got a lot better. Keep up with the score? Sure. Nope. He just knew I couldn't see it. Before we start our 8th grade action, I'd like to once again thank our sponsors. Smokin' Sisters Barbecue, located in Meats and More on Highway 69 South. Runts Barbecue, located on Cherokee Street. Van Taekwondo, Rick Van Sensei. Century 21, Charlotte Swinson. Kangas Productions, Leslie Kangas. Two-Way Sales and Service, Three Rivers Surgical Center. Armstrong Bank, Cherokee Temps, and Cowboys, Coney Island. Anyone interested in sponsoring a quarter, a game, a half, halftime, contact Joy Anderson, JANDERSON at wagonerps.org or 918-485-5553, extension 2650.
Had a little bit of that Smokin' Sisters barbecue today at lunch, and it was incredible, as always.
Bulldogs kicking off the ball to Hilldale. Good long kick through the hands of a Hornet. Wisdom number 12 picks up the ball on about the 5-yard line and 10-yard line, going to bring it back to the 13, 15.
They got him on about the 16, it looks like. They gave him forward progresses, although he went backwards after his initial contact. But once again, break for the Bulldogs. Let's see if we can make some of that. We made comments already watching them warm up a little bit. They're very athletic looking, a good-sized offensive line, and got some very good looking athletes in the backfield and receiving core. Let's see what happens here.
They look like a passing team. Their quarterback looks like he's 6-footer out there. 8th grade action, 6-foot quarterback's hard to come by. Going to have an inside trap right up the gut, good for 6 yards.
Dallas Ponder in to make the stop. Good play that time, but as he came up from his cornerback position. Really good play here for the defense. As you said, the trap comes right off the left side, and it looks like those are strong side of the line. Looks over there where folks in a lot of their running to.
Another inside play. Going to be 3rd down and about 1 for the Hilldale Hornets. It's going to be a short one.
Patrick Curley filled the gap that time and made a nice stick and made the tackle. Good job on the play.
Looks like they're double teaming Big McKinney there. Marshall McKinney at tackle.
We said Ponder on the tackle on the first one, but I do believe it was number 8, Dylan Mayfield, instead of number 6.
I think I see Ponder on the side. About had a breakaway there. A good 10-yard gain by Hilldale. It's going to be 1st and 10 Hornets at their own 36-yard line.
Great initial drive right here, as we talked about there. I think they do pass the ball. That's what kind of being concerning right now, is they're running the ball right off tackle so well. I really believe if this play keeps continuing as this nature, they're going to go into a play-action play, and then we could be in trouble a little bit with the.
Burn us with one.
Absolutely. Very good-looking athlete on top of the field there from us.
Hilldale fumbles the snap. It's going to be quarterback gets on it. They tried to go out of shotgun, and he started his motion before he ever had the ball in his hand. Lost about 6 yards.
Second 16 is going to be really one of those situations we want. Quentin Johnson, who's been playing good in the secondary the last couple of weeks over on this cornerback, and he's going to be manned up with who I think, it could be one of the best looking athletes we've seen, kind of a Nakia Jones type person.
Nakia playing on the end for us, left side. Another fumbled snap. Quarterback drops back, and he's going to be sacked for a huge loss. That's going to.
I tell you what, he got caught, and I thought he was going to fight his way out of it. It looked like he might fight his way out of it, but that, it's kind of strange. We go from 3 straight dive plays for 20-plus yards, 3 for 20 yards. The last 2 plays, looks like they might have been looking at a little bit of play action type of situation, and we're third down and a long, long way to go.
I don't expect to see him go out of shotgun again for a little while.
Third down and about, let's see, do my math here. It's going to be third down and about 37 yards. Timeout on the field by Hilldale, so we'll take a timeout too and talk a little bit about our sponsors once again. And one of the big things, like I said, that we harp on it. Of course, I've told you since I've moved back to Oklahoma that the Smoking Sisters Barbecue has one thing that I kind of how I determine whether or not I really think it's really good barbecue is if I can eat it without having to put anything on it. And she's definitely Smoking Sisters Barbecue is one of those you can eat straight out of the box and not have to worry about doctoring it up. So if you get a chance, Smoking Sisters Barbecue is as good as there is. Third down and 37 yards to go for the Hilldale Hornets. They're back in the shotgun. 4:05 to play first quarter, first initial drive. Here's a snap back and a pass. It's going to be short, so it brings up fourth down and 37. Had a wide receiver that was open, did a curl route about 10 yards down the field, but the ball didn't get to him, so brings up fourth down, and they're going to punt the ball away. I haven't seen yet. Patrick Curley may be dropping back. Could be Dustin Johnson. Looks like Patrick Curley's going to step back to line up the punt. Number 11. And I hate to say this because I was one of those guys. It might be tough to keep the ball without going over his head.
That's vertically challenged, but it was right to him. Good snap, but the punt, it's going to be short. It's going to roll dead at the Hilldale, 37-yard line?
37-yard line, yeah. So they wouldn't even gotten the first down on the punt, but it's, he got the ball out there. So let's see what happens right here with our first set of downs for the Wagoner Bulldogs on offense. Blake Dumont in his final ball game as a eighth grader, final middle school game, I guess you could say, and we've been impressed with him all year long. Boy, he handles the ball and the way he's handled the offense and threw the ball for him. Let's see if Blake can lead the Bulldogs down the field for a touchdown.
Got Curley in the backfield, and Mayfield looks like. Got zoom motion going, and Blake goes to the outside, passing the ball. Pass complete, going to be a touchdown Bulldogs on their first play. Touchdown Bulldogs, looks like number 8. For
Dylan Mayfield.
Dylan Mayfield for the Bulldogs.
And as we talked about, we've been very impressed by this eighth grader and the way he handles the ball and the way he throws the ball down the field.
That pass on the run, he's running left to right and throwing across his body to Mayfield.
And got hit. As soon as he threw the ball,
it.
He got smoked. And got the ball down there to Mayfield for the touchdown, and Mayfield did the rest. And it was, I won't say great coverage. The guy was a little bit behind him, but he was inside of him. So once the ball was caught, he just turned and broke up the field and went the distance, 37 yards for the touchdown. Dumont in the shotgun, pitches out to Dustin Johnson, cuts inside. I don't think he got there. He did not. I tell you what, it was a good hard run, but just didn't get in there.
Hard run. He was met right at the line, right at the goal line.
And what started off, Robert, as the first 3 plays, they go 20 yards. We're thinking, okay, this might be a little tough on our defense tonight, and ends up being we're up 6-0. I know that's kind of taking the wind out of their sail right away.
As long as we keep momentum, I think we're going to be okay. 3:26 remaining in the first period. Bulldogs up 6-0. Aguilar kicking off the ball to number 4 for Hilldale. Good long kick down to the Hilldale 15-yard line, and a good return brings it back to the Hilldale 40-yard line.
He gave him a yard. It was down at the 40-yard line. Now they moved it to the 41. Now they moved it back to the 40, so I guess he wasn't watching his guy on this end that was marked in the spot. But either way, they're going to be first down and 10 about the 40-yard line.
Looks like we've got trips right and option play straight up the middle. Quarterback keeps the ball, brought down by Patrick Curley after a 15, 20-yard gain.
Nice long run is what we talked about, an athletic quarterback, and he made a nice long run, got the ball down the field. The inside linebackers kind of went for the feet on that as he faked to the inside to number 4 as he's coming off the right side. Good fake on the inside, as you said, the option play, and he kept the ball around the left side for the long end. And their left side's been their big force most of the night.
Once again, option play, and he's dragging 3 Bulldogs for 3 yards.
Mateo Pena is the first guy that made the contact inside. As you said, made a big contact behind the line of scrimmage, which tells you the type of athlete and the kind of strength this kid's got. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage and picks up 4 yards.
They're marking it a 5-yard gain.
5-yard gain.
Pena, good lineman. I mean, he's one that plays 8th and 9th grade. He subs. He gives them some relief on the freshman team. This time he hands the ball off to number 7, and he's good for another 6 yards. It's going to be another 1st and 10 for Hilldale.
Domination on the interior part of the line right now has been the difference. They've been, and Hilldale's in this hurry up. They're not even going into a huddle. They're calling their plays from the sidelines, and they're going right from there. So here we are in 1st down 10, moving down the field, and haven't slowed down yet.
Once again, we're respecting the quarterback's option and letting the option man go. He gained, 15 yards that time?
Looks like it picked up enough for a 1st down, 12 to 15 yards, and they're no more getting the chain set, and they're getting the offensive play in. They're ready to go. Going to get a little bit better play from our interior linemen, which we've dominated most of the games we've played so far. Our interior defensive linemen have dominated the game. So far right now, it looks like Hilldale's controlling the ball game a little bit.
Quarterback's going to keep it over the left side and go all the way down to about the 2-yard line. Going to be 1st and goal to go.
Yeah, a lot of, like I said, one of the things that we've been watching and we've been talking about is the fact how they take themselves kind of out of the offense in that first play or first set of the series where they went backwards on the 2 plays. But here we are, 1st down and goal on 3-yard line. Hilldale on the move.
They've been tearing it off in big chunks. I know Wagoner scored 40-yard play in one play, and we try an end around, and he is stacked deep. The extra point's going to be no good, or the go-in touchdown or the tying touchdown going to be stopped at the 5-yard line. 3-yard loss.
Great defensive play by Nakia Jones that time. Stepped across some of his defensive in position, met the guys he's coming in. Great play. I think that looked to be an inside trap. If they wanted Nakia to come up the field, kick him out, and the guy cut inside. The guy tried to stay outside, and Nakia just stepped up and made the tackle.
Nakia's one as a 7th grader you probably wouldn't want to meet. It looks like that one's going to be an inside trap. Good for a touchdown, Hilldale.
same kind of action. Brought the guy back in motion, thinking like they're going to do the same kind of play. Hand the ball back onto inside back on the other side, going the other direction. He walked in for the touchdown.
It looks like our defensive line's been on their heels.
Yeah, they're not coming forward like we've seen them in the past.
Once again, one of the things that impresses, they're going to try to kick, and it's going to be blocked. One of the things that impresses me about Wagoner is if you count the number of coaches we have on our sideline right now, when 3 of them are actually paid coaches, and I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 different men on the sideline that are there in some form or capacity, either school employees or voluntary coaches that have been involved with the program for several years.
And what I like the most about it is the one-on-one instruction you get. We only have 17 football players, so then you can the good one. Every player has their own coach. It makes it a little easier.
Everybody has their own coach.
But no, it's Coach Conn has done a phenomenal job, and it's like we've talked about 1,000 times this year already. It's about the program, and when the program is doing the things they're doing, it's easy to get these guys to be a part of it and be involved with it the way they are. And as we've talked about, our football team in the varsity levels ranked number 1. Our JV team I don't think has been beat this year. Our freshman team at this point hasn't been beat.
Our freshman team hasn't been beat since they've been playing high school or junior high ball.
And our 8th grade team has 1 loss on the year, and our 7th grade team suffered only their 2nd of the year. So 3 total losses in the entire program on the year. Not too bad.
That's not bad at all.
And we talk about all the guys that are out here on the field right now. I've been there on Saturday mornings when you guys have been playing, and I've seen some of these guys on the field then. So
yeah, they're with the 5th grade team.
A lot of 5th grade guys. 1st grade, I saw Miko with your team one day.
Miko helps us with our 1st grade program. And if you were there last Friday night, you saw a couple of people in administration on the sidelines. Principal, assistant principals, assistant superintendent was there at one point on the sideline for a while.
Yeah, I'm there on the sideline until they tell me I have to leave and go up and sit in the stands. Those referees don't like it very much. I tend to get back too much into it. Patrick Curley on the first carry.
Outside.
Last carry of the half, and he's going to get, of the quarter. And he's going to go for 12 yards. Good gain for Patrick on that inside trap.
It's going to be 1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 47-yard line.
Just starting the second quarter. Bulldogs with a 1st down.
Dumont throws the ball to Nakia Jones. He brings it down. Great catch. Looked like a one-handed diving catch. That's just almost unfair when Nakia goes up against anybody. That's a good-looking athlete that was covering him.
Absolutely, and it's one of those situations where, as we talked about, there's not a lot you could do about it.
Yeah, good coverage.
I'm really, to be honest, and I hate to pick on the poor kid, but I'm glad number 11's not guarding him, because then it might be a little bit different story.
Okay, we've had 2 passes to 2 different receivers, both completions, 1 for a touchdown. This one's going to be crushing blow. That linebacker or end came in and stroked Mayfield for about a 3 or 4 yard loss. I'm sorry, it's going to be about a 6, 8 yard loss. That was a hit. That's probably the biggest hit I've seen in an 8th grade game this year.
That was, and he got a full head of steam, and Quentin Johnson never saw him coming. He got hit right in the mouth.
And we have a penalty flag. Sideline warning.
And it's, it's one of those situations, sideline warning, and they I think it's because they have so many coaches. They tell us that every week. Back up, and of course, our guys are coaching out on the field, so. But once again, when you have that many coaches involved and that many people involved in the program, it's really tough to keep you inside behind that line, so.
Got a little inside trap, good for a 7-yard gain.
Got the yards back that we lost, so now we're looking at about a 3rd down and 9.
Johnson carrying the ball
maybe
that time?
3rd and 10. Quentin Johnson on the carry that time once again. Look for, like you said, why would we, and of course, there's always a risk with a pitch and catch, but I'm telling you, you got Nakia Jones one-on-one out here. I'm not thinking that I wouldn't try to test this 85 out again.
Going to be Jones. One-on-one, Jones goes in for a touchdown.
I should be an offensive coordinator. I'm telling you, I should do this for a living.
You can do this.
I tell you what, you give me that quarterback and that receiver, and I'll do it anytime. I tell you that. I look really good at it. 12-6, 5:12 to play to go in the first half. We're going to go for the ball on the ground. And ball still on the ground and recovered by Hilldale. Try is going to be no good. I was wondering what we were going to try to do because we only get 1 point out of this. I know that last week when we played, 2 weeks ago, when we were doing the game at Locust Grove and didn't have the camera situation, we went down on the field, and I heard Coach Williams go, "We won't kick another one."
We're not kicking another field. We're not going to kick again. No PATs.
So you might as well be ready for this. This point after touchdown is going to be run in from now on.
Charbonneau working with Big Marshall McKinney down there about his using his hands blocking or using his hands on defense. I'm not sure which, but Marshall's about the size of Miko.
Yeah, I was about to say they're about the same size. Matter of fact, Miko's a little bit shorter than he is, so it's lucky to have those type of players and lucky those type of size for our kids. And now we're going to 5:12 to play in the first half, and Blake Dumon's going to kick the ball off for the Bulldogs to the Hilldale Hornets. Back to receive the kickoff is Kadari Kerr. Short kick, going to go to number 44, Brock Owensby. And Brock Owensby is taken down on about the 30-yard line. First and 10 on the 30-yard line. Quarterback that we've been talking about, Jaron Nail. It maybe killed our coach Nail. Jaron Nail is the quarterback for the Hilldale Hornet 8th grade team.
Still haven't seen Hilldale throw it, but
hey, whatever he was telling Mateo, he was listening to.
Defensive charge, yeah. Mateo comes in and sacks him for about a 4 or 5 yard loss.
One of the issues we just got a Hilldale Hornet roster for the 8th grade. The issue we've got is the number 4 and number 7, who've been their 2 ball carriers, are neither one on the roster. There's a pass and completed to number 88, Micah Lowamore. And I know it's tough to see, and we always hear the old saying, you can hold on every play, you can throw a flag on every play for holding, but looked like Austin Condon was on his way out around the edge to to stop the quarterback on the roll, and the guy had a full handful of his jersey, so I don't know. I can see that from here, and I know my eyes aren't that good, so I don't know exactly what we're watching. Big down, 3rd down and about 5 to go.
They won't call a hold if they're not involved in the play, and I can understand that, but he was definitely involved in the play, and that impeded the outcome.
They would at
Drops
Locust
back
Grove.
for another pass, and that one's going to fall incomplete. Diving attempt by number 1. Going to bring up 4th and 5.
Caden Kerr's number 1. As we talked about, a good-looking athlete. Just missed that pass. And we talked about Locust Grove, but those guys threw flags on stuff we never even heard of before.
Yeah.
I've never even seen some of the stuff flags were thrown on. So 4th down, and they're going to, I believe, punt the ball away.
I believe so.
They may not, because like I said, they've been able to get
35.
and they've been able to get chunks of yardage. But I think with 3:41, they're not going to give them a short field. So.
They've got their little punter out there, but they've also
they've also got their quarterback in there short of him too. So
they're up back. This ball's going to roll dead at the Bulldogs' 42-yard line. 3:31 remaining in the first half. Dumont comes out of shotgun, back to the line to start Bulldogs possession. Probably going to be the final Bulldog possession. Handoff up the middle, Patrick Curley straight ahead, inside trap.
Brock Owensby made the tackle. Brock has number 44 on my sheet, but he was number 7 on that play evidently, because number 7 made that tackle. But nice form tackle, good tackle of the linebacker. Gain of about 2 yards, which is just, pretty normal for a straight-ahead dive.
Shotgun again. Dumont takes the snap after a zip motion. Looks like Curley's going to go around the outside. Good for another 2 or 3 yard gain.
Tackle made that time by Owensby once again. And number 4, that was Quentin Johnson, I believe, on the carry. And number 4, once again, not on my list. Was in on that tackle, so
I don't know. He should make the roster as many plays as he's been.
Tell you what, he's
in.
carried the football for their touchdown. He's done a lot of things I would have put him on my roster for. I'd tell him, I'm not.
If he's unhappy about it, I know we can put him on one.
I'm not recruiting or anything, but I can give him a roster he could be on.
That pass going to be Dumont to Nakia for good for a 1st and 10, about a 6 yard gain. Looked like a quick slant.
Quick slant, and Alex Puckett, the number 85, the kid we were kind of teasing about having the job of holding Nakia Jones, made the tackle immediately, but it was a gain of 6 yards on a 3rd down and about 4 yards, so got a 1st down and 2 yards to go.
2:20 remaining in the first half. Bulldogs football at the Hilldale 46 yard line. Dumont once again out of shotgun, takes the snap and pitches it to Curley over the right side. Again, he's going to be tackled for a 2 yard loss.
Great play that time defensively by Jaron Nail came in. We talked about him, the quarterback, good athlete, spelled the same way. And I wonder if he's kin to Coach Nail, Benny Nail of our football team. Coach Jaron came in and made the tackle that time in the backfield. Helping out was number 53. And that would be Lane Miller.
I've been giving Curley a lot of credit for Johnson's work. Dumont out of shotgun. He's going to roll out to the left for a pass play. He throws it long to Bulldogs completion, number 8. Good for a 1st and 10, 15, 17-yard gain.
Dylan Mayfield once again caught the long pass for a touchdown and just made a great catch. And I tell you, once again, there's that quarterback rolling to his left away from his throwing side and made a great completion.
Yeah, that was while he was being pursued by several Hilldale Hornets. Going to be Bulldogs ball 1st and 10 from the Hilldale 31-yard line. Got about a minute 10 left in the first half. Bulldogs drive. This is going to be enough to put them in a comfortable spot. I don't think the game's definitely not over the way Hilldale's chewing up the field. It's going to be Curley up the middle.
Nice play once again inside by number 7. Timeout's going to be called by the Bulldogs with just under a minute to play. Ball resting on about the 30-yard line. Need to get in for a touchdown, get some points out of this. You don't want, and we are going to get the ball to start the second half. So if you can put this football in the end zone, have a 2-touchdown lead going in, then maybe get the ball to do a little time-consuming drive that Coach Williams is so good at. We will see if we can't put this game, definitely in our momentum.
So you had Smoking Sisters today. I don't remember if I got a call from you or not. I was out working on a couple of projects.
Were you in your office today?
I was on the forklift moving bricks.
Yeah,
for the indoor.
I called your office, so that
Did
was
you?
what it was.
Okay.
So.
My aide didn't say anything. I didn't see any messages.
Actually, to be totally honest with you, it's kind of strange. Normally on Tuesdays, I go to Rotary with
Right.
Mr. Thompson and Mr. Bates, and today we had things that we had to do, and I had some things that took me into my time got passed away. I was going to be late to it, so I thought, okay, I'm not going to go and interrupt it and be late, so I decided not to go. And Nick had already ordered, so I had to call and make my own single order myself because they didn't give me anything. So
It's kind of thoughtless of Nick.
I think a lot about this. Nick missed Boss's Day last week too. So as good as he's doing this year, he's kind of moving down the ladder a little bit. We got to get his priorities straight.
He's coming up short. It's going to be a pitch to Johnson again. He goes over the right side for a short, maybe 1-yard gain. Clock's down to 41 seconds as the Bulldogs call timeout.
Going to take that timeout. They'll use all 3 of them if they can. A good play that time. Nail came around and made one of the guys on the tackle, along with 85, and he has Alex Puckett came in and helped out on the tackle. Johnson's got speed to get to the outside. It just hasn't seemed to be getting out there so far. I mean, we haven't had to really broke away yet.
How about Joy Anderson and the mass communications? They have been every varsity game, junior high game so far this year, done a little bit of volleyball and some softball. I think our mass communications, our Friday night Bulldogs moving to Thursday nights and covering some other sports other than just the once-a-week varsity football. I think it's a great thing. That program's come a long ways, and it couldn't happen without the support of our sponsors. If you're interested in sponsoring the Friday Night Bulldogs or any of the sports that we stream live, contact Joy Anderson, JANDERSON at WagonerPS.org. That email address again, JANDERSON at WagonerPS.org.
And with the playoffs coming up and our varsity team ranked number 1 in the state going to go pretty far in the playoffs, you definitely want to be able to get, your name on the book so we can mention your name throughout all the playoffs throughout the week and throughout this rest of the season.
We looked like we tried another pass play to Nakia, and that time they double-team covered him.
Well, not only double-teamed, I think for the first time in a long time, that was a short pass. Blake should have thrown that ball longer, and I think he outruns all of them and gets to the ball, but
right.
He kind of just threw it up, and they came up and knocked the ball away. Great defensive play that time by Puckett, but Coach Williams went right away and got right in the middle of him about telling him to make sure that you get that ball in the air. Bad snap and sack on the play. It looks like it's going to be turnover on downs because that was 4th down evidently. I didn't realize that was 4th down.
I thought it was 3rd.
So 1 play, maybe 2 plays here, depending on the situation. But I can tell you, looks like number 8's looking to throw. So here comes Nail rolling to his right, throws down the field, and it's going to be way overthrown, incomplete, intended for Puckett. Brings up 2nd down and 10, 23 seconds left to play in the first half. It's funny, we were talking just now about Coach Williams walked in and started talking about running the offense for the team. Well, I look down there and see Coach Humphreys down there yelling at defensive signals now too. So both of our varsity coordinators have stepped up and started to get involved in this last minute of 8th grade football. Here comes Nail on a quarterback keeper. He's going to go for the first down and maybe more. Blake Dumont makes a great open field tackle. Great job by Blake Dumont. Timeout's going to be called by Hilldale. 12 seconds to play first half.
Hilldale's going to be third down and a short 3, 12 seconds remaining. I expect him to take another shot at the end zone or two. I know you got him at defensive end, and he goes and wreaks havoc back there. Yeah, sure they are. I would.
Here we go. Third down and 3 yards to go. 12 seconds to play.
Hilldale out of shotgun, tries a long pass down the sideline. Oh, that one.
Hey,
in
guess
and out
what?
Of several hands.
You're pretty good at this defensive thing, too. Nakia Jones is back on the secondary on that coverage.
I think between the two of us, we could coach as long as we had Nakia.
I'm telling you. And they talk about how hard it is. I don't see anything difficult at all in that.
Wasn't an issue. If I would have been coaching, I'd have had him come down with the ball, though, maybe run it back. 5 seconds remaining.
What was funny was Blake Dumont had his sights on. It was going to be an interception, and he jumps up and goes over his fingertips, and the kid almost made a great catch. Puckett almost made a great catch on the play.
We're in a prevent. We've got 4 back deep. That ball picked off. Dumont down the left side gets knocked out of bounds as time expires.
Yeah, and you knew Blake is one of those type players like his brother. He reads the defense very well, makes a great play, interception, and that's going to end the first half.
First half score, Wagoner Bulldogs 12, Hilldale Hornets 6. That's going to bring the 8th grade halftime to a close. Bulldogs will be receiving the ball to start the second half. Your score, Wagoner Bulldogs 12, Hilldale Hornets 6. Hilldale's punter is going to be teeing up the ball, number 11 for Hilldale. I don't have the roster. And they try an onside kick, and it's going to be picked up by the Bulldogs at the 40-yard line. That was probably a good thought. They were going to try a little onside there and take possession from the Bulldogs to start this second period. And Bulldogs were aware, had a decent crew in. Number 6 for the Bulldogs picking up the ball. As we take possession, good field position at the 42-yard line. Dumont out of shotgun, got zip motion going on the inside. Handoff goes to the end. Johnson cuts back against traffic and is stopped at about the original line of scrimmage. Got zoom motion going to the outside with an inside trap. Curley's carrying the ball. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down, 12 yards to go for the Dogs after a 5-yard penalty.
Third down and about 15 yards to go. Nice carry that time by Quentin Johnson. Good tackle once again inside by Owenby. Official timeout here on the play. 2nd down instead of 3rd down. So there's on the penalty, they didn't get the down, so it's going to be 2nd down and about 14 yards, 15 yards instead of 3rd down.
Dumont out of shotgun, handing the ball up the middle once again. Going to be back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10, Bulldogs from their own 41-yard line.
Once again, this is a big down in what we talked about, 5:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. Want to drive down here and at least run some clock off. You can't get in the end zone, which I think we can here. We want to run some time off the clock, and once again, we got out here with one-on-one with Puckett is Nakia Jones. And he's got nobody behind. He don't have no help behind him, so that could be a big deal.
Oh, in and out of the hands of Jones. He starts upfield before he maintains possession of the ball.
4th down, and they're going to punt the ball away.
I don't know that I wouldn't give that another shot.
The problem with it is Puckett only had help in one spot, and it was inside, and so he was running right to where he had help. I don't think he would have had issues had he kept him on the outside.
That punt, nice high-hanging punt, surrounded by Bulldogs, rolls dead at about the Hilldale 31-yard line. Going to be Hilldale's ball. 4:50 remaining in the third period. 1st and 10, Hilldale.
Big time for the defense to step up and make a big stop right here. Quarterback Jaron Nell, in there to try to get something going here.
I'm anxious to see what the Bulldogs changed at halftime. I know our guys are great about coaching them up at halftime, making some changes, and we have Mateo Pena in the backfield attempting a tackle and in and out of his grasp. He breaks one free for 5 yards. I don't know who was that ball runner.
And we don't have a name on number 4, so we'll I'll bet he's number 5. Mike, I heard the announcer say Winston earlier, so I'll bet number 4 should be number 5. So Mikey Winston was on the carry. The issue that I have on that play is, like you said, Mateo Pena hit him 2 yards deep in the backfield, if not deeper. He ends up getting a 5-yard gain, so we gave up a 2-yard loss for 7 yards on the game.
7-yard swing. I know we've always been good, high school and junior high, about our adjustments at halftime, and I'm anxious to see him on defense here. Once again, Winston breaks one right up the middle. Excellent run. Oh, nice moves. This kid's got jukes. If he has nothing else, he has jukes. Good for a 40-yard gain down to the Bulldogs' 18-yard line.
Big play on that, and as you said, he did have moves on the play. If he had any breakaway speed, he'd have scored easily, but was able to be run down by Braxton Clark. First time the first person to come to try to make the tackle on him, Mayfield, he broke the tackle on Mayfield, or actually just juked himself out of the tackle. He didn't break a tackle. He juked him out of it, and then he was eventually taken down by Braxton Clark.
Yeah, they stuck him in the backfield that time. No gain on that play. Good for about a half-yard loss. Going to be 2nd and a long 10 for Hilldale.
Once again, Pena in there on the initial hit. He was right across the line of scrimmage. Looks like he could be shaken up a little bit. He's kind of still stayed on the ground a little bit. Now he's been over a little bit, but
looks like he squared up on him.
Yeah, hasn't moved off the sideline yet. Of course, he squared up, made a good initial blow on the play. 2:45 clock run in the third quarter.
Pena's got a great stance. I mean, he's down, he's ready. Shotgun back to Winston again. He's trying another one up the middle, and man, if they don't square up and hit that boy or wrap him up, he's going to go. And he's small enough. It looks like most of our kids could just grab him and pick him up, but we haven't been able to grab him.
Not at all. 3rd down and about 1 yard to go, so this is definitely 2-down territory. The best thing going right now is the clock is in our favor as we are in the have the clock running 2 minutes to play and in the third quarter, and we still have a touchdown lead, but they are able to push us in. They gave him a 1st down on that. I had 3rd down about 1, but I guess they get the 1st down, so it'll be 1st and goal.
Once again, Winston carrying the ball, and he good for a yard or so.
I would have said he lost a yard, but we'll see where they mark it. But they marked him closer to the 10 this time. He started on about the 8, but they marked him closer to the 10, but now they've moved it back forward. So 2nd down and goal.
Kid's a good runner.
Runs hard for his size, little bitty guy.
Winston again up the middle, bounces off a would-be tackler, trying to bounce it to the outside. He is met in the backfield. Great open field tackle.
Great play, and I'm trying to get a number on that one. I want to say, I'm going to guess it's going to go with Dylan Mayfield on that play, if not Quentin Johnson, but I haven't got a number yet on
That's
who
Mayfield.
It was. Mayfield, great job of coming up and making that tackle. Oh, Blake Dumont, excuse me. Number 12 made the tackle. Blake Dumont comes up and makes the tackle.
I'm looking for play action. Oh. Bulldogs going to jump off sides. We had a hard count there, it looked like. Give them their yards back.
The Achilles heel that we've had most of the year, and not just on this team, on all the teams we've played that we've had, is that hard count that gives them a little bit of yards. Doesn't give them naturally. We're on 3rd down and goal still on the 4-yard, and I take them from the 9 to the 4, so changes a little bit of the game plan.
Roll out for a pass, and that pass is going to be low. 4th down, goal to go from about the 4-yard line. Going to be a long 4.
Okay, now here
What do
we
you think?
go.
They're going for it?
Let me see. Let's see. I don't know. I haven't seen the field goal team run out yet, so I'm going to go with they're going to go for this. Big down right here. 3rd down, 4th down and goal. Coach Henson's out there.
Miko's calling eagle.
Coach Charbonneau. Either that or he's about to take off in flight, one of the two.
Timeout, Hornets. Our sponsors tonight, Century 21, Charlotte Swinson, Smoking Sisters Barbecue, Runts Barbecue. I hate having those two right there together because both of them have great barbecue, and both of them, I mean, if you want it delivered, go with Smoking Sisters. If you're going to go sit down and have some onion rings, I would go to Runts. Kangas Productions, the Wagoner graduate Leslie Kangas, he'll put your photos on a video, or he has different things that he can do with those, with your pictures or with your VHS to DVD. He does a great job. He's one of the mass communications video productions class from Wagoner.
Van Taekwondo, Rick Van is the sensei there. Two-Way Sales and Service, Three Rivers Surgical Center, Armstrong Bank, one of our big sponsors, Cherokee Chimps, and Cowboy Coney Island. I've heard so many things about it. Haven't had a chance to go yet since I've been here, so I'm going to have to take the time. You keep
I eat there occasionally.
We almost went one time. You and I were heading to Coweta, and you said you want to stop for a dog, and for whatever reason, we decided not to.
I think we were running late on the way to a game.
And so we decided not to, and we haven't really run back made that trip yet.
The hot links there are one of my favorites. They use the Stillwell Mountain View hot links. Here we go with 4th down. Big play right here. It's going to be a pitch to Winston and then a pass from Winston. Touchdown. Oh, the little flea flicker there. Pitch it to the halfback, and everybody bites on it, runs in on him, and leaves the receiver standing in the end zone for an easy pitch and catch.
And here comes the big kick here for the lead, and this is a big play here, a 2-point conversion.
12-12.
Gives them even a 1 point. And
I haven't seen a call yet.
I'm going to say no. They didn't put the scored nothing up on the board, so I'm going to go with no.
It looked like it went wide left, but I couldn't hardly tell.
I saw the one under the goal point, the one out front, I guess he gave the indication no good, so 40 seconds play 3rd quarter. It's 12-12, and we need to get the ball right here and run off some time, but more importantly, we need to get in the end zone.
PAT.
And with the fact that ball was wide left, but it did have the height and did have the distance, Coach Williams might want to consider maybe kicking one.
Yeah,
if we get there.
So. I would think so.
Blake Dumont has made a few.
He looked like a soccer player.
And Blake has made a few. We've had Blake Dumont kicking for us, and he's made a few extra points this year, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities that he could do it.
Dumont's an all-around athlete for us, playing offense and defense, cornerback and quarterback. Both Dumont boys sharing some quarterback duties on their teams.
I think Cameron's going to play some tailback tonight. We will see what happens there. He's going to be playing tailback tonight for the 9th grade team, along with Cody. Milligan will play some tonight at tailback.
I know Dumont has been in this program since he was in, 3rd grade, 2nd or 3rd grade, and he knows the playbook inside and out, and smart kid. He can do about anything. Hilldale's going to try another onside kick, and Bulldogs are going to cover it up at the 50-yard line.
Riley Mars looks like, I believe, and I can't really tell if that's right. Nope, it's not Riley. He's staring on the sideline. It looks like Dylan Mayfield made the recovery on that onside
It's going to be number
kick.
8.
Yeah, Dylan Mayfield.
Mayfield, yeah.
Yes.
He's got good hands. They had their hands team up there
Well, no, I take that back. That's number 6. So
That's
that would be Ponder.
Dallas, the pounder,
Dallas-
Ponder on
Dallas
that
Ponder.
stop. Great job. Heads up play. I don't know that Hilldale's tried a regular kick tonight. They've been trying to one side.
You know, I would usually complain about this. Clock hasn't stopped running, but I'm going to go ahead and let it go because it's actually in our favor that the clock does run. So
Stuck at about a half-yard gain is
it looks like from here, and of course, like I said, you know, it's easy to say that from when we're looking from here, but as he hits the hole, if he was to kick it to his outside, to his right, he has plenty of space, it
Yeah, it
looks
looked
like.
like it.
But he's running right in the back of the defensive lineman there, and the offensive lineman in that case. So here we go in the fourth quarter, 12-12. A lot of exciting football left to go here in fourth quarter of the final 8th grade football game of the 2013 season.
going to be right on the 50-yard line.
Third down and 10, actually about third and 9. Board says third and 10, but third down and 9 yards to go for the first down. The big first down play here. You got
Diamond on the right, Wells on the left. Pass is going to be to Wells. Fade pattern. Oh,
And no,
flag
there we go.
comes out. Offensive or defensive pass interference. It's going to be good for a Bulldogs first and 10.
I'll tell you what, and I know we've talked about this, but I tell you what, that's not a bad penalty. I'll give that
No.
kid credit.
No,
you know,
if he wouldn't
did,
have that penalty, it would have been a touchdown.
He was trying to knock it down, and you know, he did make a great effort for the ball, but he doesn't make that penalty, it's a touchdown, and or at least a great completion. So first down, it's going to be first and 10, and give the Bulldogs the ball moving down the field, and the clock is on our side.
Bulldogs ball first and 10 from the Hilldale 35-yard line. Your score, 12-12.
They got him one-on-one once again.
Looks like they're going to go to the right with it this time. Mayfield carrying the ball.
Quentin Johnson,
I'm sorry. I got those two, the way they run and carry
yeah,
themselves.
they are almost identical.
You're checking numbers. Smart way to go with those guys.
Quentin's got great hands and great ability to run. Second down and about 3 yards, long 2 yards to go. Coach Williams has given the play to Dumont and said, look over at the down marker. This is how much you got to go. We're not trying to – we want the clocks on our side. Let it run, and run as much time off this clock as you can. And once again, here we go. Second down and about 2.
6:10 remaining in the fourth period.
He's not going to get the first down. Curley took it for about maybe lost a yard, maybe lost half a yard anyway.
Didn't move much, did it?
No. And now we're at third down and about 3 yards. And, of course, like I said, and although it's pretty much money every time it happens, I think I might take a shot here to Nakia, just get that first down and keep moving.
Yeah. Nakia never moved. It's going to be an inside trap right up the gut. Good for, lost his footing at about the 2-yard line.
Yep.
That was a shoestring tackle.
Absolutely it was. 5.5 to play. And once again, now you're starting thinking, what are we going to do with this 1-point conversion when we get this ball in the end zone?
I don't know, Coach. I believe I'm going for 2 if it's me. because they're close to making it. If they score again and get the 2, we're still in the game. If we get 1 and they get 2, that's ball game.
Yeah. I like to put the
5:15
pressure on
remaining.
them if we can. Okay, coaches, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Coach Williams turned around and looked at number 65, and I'm not sure who 65 is on our team.
Touchdown, Bulldogs.
He handed his number. Coach Williams turned around and said to Coach Nell, give me that block. We're going to try to kick this thing, so let's see what happens.
Okay. Last week, what was it he said? That's it, Coach. We're
Yeah,
not
we're
kicking
not
another
kicking
one.
another one. But like all coaches, he's able to change his mind if he'd like.
Absolutely. Heat of the moment. And the ball's on the tee. Up. And it's good.
Good. There you
It's
go.
good.
That's what we need right there.
2 point.
And Coach Williams walks over and high-fives Moose as soon as it happens. So that tells you right there. Big kick.
Yeah. Williams is acting like he planned it that way the whole time.
I'll tell you what. But I can, and we've talked about this before, an 8-point lead is huge right now. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. That forces them to get a score. And now we're going to try the onside like they've done every time or kick it deep and pin them. I'm saying we pin them.
I think they're going to kick it as far as they can kick it and see what they
Make
can
them
get out
drive
of
the length
this.
of the field because they can't outrun us. They've got a great tailback, but they haven't outran us tonight.
Yeah, they're not built for speed like we thought they may be.
Quickness is there.
Quickness is there, but they don't have a lot of speed.
I believe they have a skunk issue in this area.
I'm thinking there is one. Puts a damper on the ball game, I'm telling you that. Holy smokes. Blake Dumont to kick off, and there's his kick. It's going to be, they're going to make it a chance to get out and get this.
20-yard line.
Winston's going to pick it up, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds.
At the 21, 22?
22, 23-yard line here.
That's one we don't want to have the ball in his hands, and we just happened to knock him out of bounds. I think he was hoping it would bounce out of bounds for a penalty.
Yeah, great job. Just like my golf shots when I hit them and make them stop right where I want them. That's exactly what he did on that kickoff.
Almost out of bounds.
Always, every time.
5 minutes remaining in the final 8th grade game of the 2013 season. Your score, Bulldogs 20, Hornets 12. Number 7 carrying the ball for Hilldale. And
he's
gets
fumbled.
the ball stripped. Bulldogs football. Bulldogs football. That's going to be Mayfield.
There's Dylan Mayfield
Dylan
on that
Mayfield
one.
strips the ball at the 38-yard line. Instead of making the tackle, he just rips the ball free and ends up falling on it. Bulldogs ball, 38-yard line, 1st and 10.
Great play that time, and I usually it's one of those situations, and it's really funny that this has happened this year. Coaching football, being around football most of my life, and like you have, and you're teaching the young kids. You don't teach them to strip the ball. You teach them to knock somebody out if you can. Now it's all about stripping the ball now. Everything I see is about stripping the ball. So
we tell them tackle first, and the second man's the one that makes the strip. Second man do the strip, and
Quentin Johnson
it worked
once again.
well. It worked well until Coach Charbonneau's little 1st grade son, Cale, runs back there and takes the handoff and ran it back for a touchdown. Everybody thinks that's what they're supposed to do. It's cost us several tackles.
yeah, and that's kind of the one thing that I've always done is I would rather you blow somebody up and make the tackle than to try to strip the ball. But even in the varsity level, I remember Coweta going in for a touchdown very first ball game. I'm down on the goal line, standing down there with you and Curtis, and we're sitting there, and the guy's going in for a touchdown. Here comes Lawrence Evett and grabs him, and he starts stripping the ball. And I look at it and say, come on, tackle him. And next thing you know, he's the ball's out, and we get the ball down on the goal line, and we end up going all the way to the victory. So
Bulldogs tried to run a sweep over the right side and end up getting tackled for about a yard loss. It's going to be 3rd and 6?
Third
and
down,
7?
3rd and 7. And one thing about it that I've noticed today, and it's really kind of strange for us, is it's kind of uncharted territory. We're not outrunning them sideline to sideline. Now I think we got more speed straight up and down the field, but sideline to sideline, they've kept us in check to most of the night.
They're containing well. We've got twins left, Nakia on the far outside with Mayfield, looks like, and We try a hard count. Looked like they jumped, but flags didn't fly. Williams calls a timeout. Bulldogs are coming to the sideline. 3:10 remaining in the final 8th grade game. 3:10 remaining. Bulldogs 20, Hornets 12. We talked earlier about the barbecue you had at Smoking Sisters not needing the sauce. Their Ranger Creek sauce that they use, I believe I could.
I tell people all the time I'm trying to hit all the restaurants I can possibly hit, but I can't hit them all in one week. So
I'm there to help you anytime you need a hand.
Yeah,
Have you had the opportunity to go out to Baker's or to Stakeout? I know you've been to Stakeout.
Yeah,
We've
I've
been
been
to
to
Stakeout
Stakeout.
together. Looked like a halfback pass. Number 4, Curley throws the ball long.
Oh,
in
and he
out of
drops
the
it.
hands. Oh, that was a nice pass over the left shoulder.
Chad Goforth was the intended receiver on that, and he was there and had was
Alone.
open for the touchdown. Just happened to have it go in and out of his hands.
He catches that one 7 out of 10 times.
So once again, let's look for Nakia Jones to be split out to the left side over here, and let's go to him and get this 7 yards for the first down and put the ball game away.
.303 remaining in the fourth. 20-12, Bulldogs favor. 2 timeouts, both sides. Dumond out of a shotgun. Are we trying a tough count, trying a hard count?
We
They
tried a
jumped,
hard
but
count
they didn't come
again.
across. That works against us, not for us.
Well, Dale, he's sitting right here next to the referee, and when we do the count and they move and he don't throw a flag, he yells timeout right away. So not exactly sure what was going on exactly on that case, but here we go. We have 1 timeout left and a 20-12 lead. 3 minutes, 3:03 to play in the ball game and in the season. So we'll see what Coach Williams can draw up here, and Coach Alexander and Coach Condis now jumped in there to give his 2 cents.
Has Condit taken over the play calling now, or is it still looks like Williams' hands are moving around a lot, but
I think Williams is a part of it. I just really think that he is stepping in there and making the calls.
Williams walks over to a group of coaches, says a couple of things, and walks away.
I think it's kind of one of those watch this.
Pass is going to Nakia, and he's going to catch it for 1st and 10, and he's going to he's got 2 people wrapping him up, and he finally goes down.
And he fumbled the football.
He had it stripped at the 12-yard line.
Yeah. And the issue that I had was his forward motion was definitely stopped. He wasn't moving whatsoever, but needless to say, that's what happened.
They
So.
hadn't blown the whistle because he had
Yep.
drug him 3 yards,
Yep.
and then when they stopped the motion, then they started trying to strip the ball.
Yeah. And you knew that it might happen, so.
That's the bad part about not going down on contact. I mean, when you have 2 of them and you're dragging them a few yards, he's a horse.
That was my first thought was he needs to go down and keep the clock running, but wasn't able to.
I mean, he saw the end zone.
Great play, Quentin Johnson stepping
Quentin
up.
Johnson comes in and saves a huge gain. Going to be 2nd and 4 for Hilldale at their 17-yard line.
Clock running here, about just over 2 minutes to play.
This no huddle these kids are running 7th and 8th grade is pretty impressive.
It's impressive that they're running it. My question, I want to say, I guess you would, for lack of better terminology, question on it or questioning it, is the fact that they're still wasting a lot of time while they're the clock's running, and they're not doing it as usually you're within 13, 14 seconds the ball's being snapped, and it's not that way.
No, they've gone 12 seconds since the last one already. Number 8 rolls to his left to pass the ball. Throws it long and to no one.
Yeah, incomplete. Nobody was there to be.
Going to stop the clock, minute 40 left. 2nd and 10.
Minute 40, kind of let them get a little organization here. One of the things we've talked about already, they haven't heard us passing the football. They've heard us running the football, and so we'll see how they go. They got trips over to the right side.
And slant to the inside. And good for 1st and 10, stops the clock till they move the chains. Looks like chain gang's kind of moving slow for the home team there.
Yeah, they're not in a hurry, I can tell you that. Clock's running, a minute and a half to play in the ball game. Oh, he's running. We got a guy running over here, and the ball's not snapped yet, so. I think that kind of reminds me of that movie Best of Times when Robin Williams takes off running for the long pass and they haven't snapped the ball yet. That's one of the best movies ever.
It's a rough way to stop the clock, but it is running again. Minute 20 remaining as Hilldale approaches the line. Takes the snap, and it's option. Quarterback keeps it.
Austin Condit that time. Great play inside. Outstanding defensive play, Austin Condit on that play. I'm a little surprised here. With a minute to play, they've got 2 timeouts left, and they haven't used one. That clock's still running.
Still running.
Not that I'm complaining, just kind of surprised.
They've got trips right and no one covering. Okay, here we go back into coverage. That's complete.
Now they're at the 38-yard line, 43 seconds to play.
.43 seconds remaining.
Clock's running.
40. Take the snap. He's rolling to his left, going to pass. Long pass is going to be picked. No, in and out of the hands. He had it in his hands and got hit in the back by the intended receiver.
Blake Dumont that time on the defense. 31 seconds. 31 seconds to play in the season.
Great season for this 8th grade bunch. One loss. Who did they suffer the loss to? It was early in the season, first game.
First game was, I want to say, was it Tahlequah that? No, we beat Tahlequah. Tahlequah had the really good athlete, but we beat Tahlequah. We'll think of it. We'll think of it in a little bit. Catoosa.
It was Catoosa.
Yeah.
That'd be one of the games where we're waiting on the new cameras to come in. We did not stream that game. So
thank gosh.
As far as mass communications go, this 8th grade bunch is undefeated.
That's right.
That's what counts.
26 seconds to play in the season. 3rd down and 10 yards to go. Ball resting on the 37-yard line. Here comes one of the timeouts.
If you want to watch one of these games, they will be loaded online tomorrow, or you can watch them streaming live right now. If you want to watch it tomorrow, www.wagonerps.org, live streaming events, today's date, and at Hilldale, Wagoner Hilldale Junior High. If you'd like to sponsor, email janderson at wagonerps.org. Contact her by phone, 918-485-5553, extension 2650. Check.
Third down and 10. Here comes a rush. Patrick Curley, great rush. Flea Flicker playing,
Flea
the ball's on
Flicker
the ground.
Ball's on the ground. Bulldogs recover.
I'm not sure the Bulldogs got it or not.
He was on it, and it looks like
And they got a Bulldogs ball.
They tried the hook and lateral, and in and out of the hands of the tailback.
Pass was to number 1, Kerr, who made the great catch, and then he turns around. He's going to pitch it to number 4, Winston, coming around on the outside, and the ball was behind him a little bit on the pitch, and it's going to be the Bulldogs ball, first down and 10, and Dumon's going to take a knee. I would almost bet the clock's running down. Actually, they didn't stop the. I thought they stopped the clock on possession, but I guess I'm wrong.
No, we're Dogs running to the 50. We're going to call this ball game. Bulldog victory. Wagoner 20, Hilldale 12. Going to be picking up the action again with our undefeated freshman team. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors before we continue on. Our sponsors make this possible: Smoking Sisters Barbecue Runts, Van Taekwondo, Century 21 Real Estate, Kangas Productions, Two-Way Sales and Service, Three Rivers Surgical Center, Cherokee Temps, Armstrong Bank, and Cowboys Coney Island. If you are or know anyone that is interested in sponsoring a quarter, a half, or a game, contact Joy Anderson at Wagoner High School, 918-485-5553, extension 2650, or JANDERSON at WAGONERPS.org. Bulldogs going to be receiving the ball to start this final freshman game. And the kick's in the air. Cody Milligan takes the ball, brings it back to about the 37-yard line. Great run right up the middle.
He's 8 in the maroon jerseys, 2 in the white jersey. We have a lot of different numbers. Malcolm was 20 in the maroon, and now he's 4 in the white. So
I thought that was Dumont that was throwing the ball earlier, but it was Malcolm.
It's Malcolm Rodriguez, yep.
Starting under center from shotgun, Malcolm Rodriguez. In motion is your tight end, Arlandis Robertson. Rodriguez starts off throwing the ball to Robertson, and it thrown a little bit long as Rodriguez is hitting the backfield.
I tell you what, that play was that we've run it a lot of times to go to Rodriguez, to go from Rodriguez to Robertson, but Chris Murray was right down the seam, wide open down the middle of the field. I'll guarantee you Coach Jeff Williams saw that.
I don't think Malcolm saw it because he was getting hit in the mouth right when he was releasing the ball. Going with an empty backfield. Chris Murray.
That's Cody, actually.
I'm sorry, that's Cody. They run a lot alike. I saw the 2, but I didn't see a 1. So
Gain of about 8 yards on the play, 9 yards on the play, bring up third down, in about 2 yards. So
tell you what, Cody's done a fine job coming into this, his first year with this freshman group that has had so much success, being a third-year school team, and him coming in raw. He's learned the system and worked his way from a part-time player to starting cornerback, and tonight his first start at tailback.
One of the biggest things he said, that was one of the reasons he wasn't sure he wanted to play, was simply because of the fact that they've been playing so long, Dad. He goes, they don't need me. So
great run. Tough run. Milligan takes it 12 yards, 15 yards. They're giving that to Murray.
That was
Cody
again.
What number's Murray in the white?
Murray's 21.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Looking for the blackjack.
And I can tell you right now, they can't hold Murray one-on-one. If they can give Rodriguez a little bit of time, they can't hold Murray one-on-one.
Murray goes in motion as we run an inside trap to Bryce Easy Mac Brown. He goes up the middle for a 5-yard gain.
And their best, I was going to mention this just now, and I for whatever reason didn't get around to it and mention him. Number 9 for Hilldale, that's Wyatt Wolf. Very good-looking athlete. He's been on a couple of tackles already. When Cody ran the ball, was in on that tackle right there on Easy Mac. So very, very good looking athlete here on the outside, number 9. Wyatt Wolf looks to be one of their best defensive players.
Robertson lined up wide left. Milligan back. Murray goes into motion. The pitch goes to Murray. Milligan makes a great block on the outside. As Murray gets the outside, he's going to go on for a touchdown. Touchdown, Bulldogs. 5:36 remaining in the first period.
Big play right there. And like as we talked about before, when you say that you got equal speed and you got different type, this team and this player and that player, when you put 21 out there, you just got the advantage on the speed. And here comes a late flag. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Bulldogs lining up in a swinging gate, trying to decide are they going to go for 1 or go for 2. 9th grade action in 9th grade. Kicking it is worth 1, running in is for 2. And the coaches are signaling go for 1.
And here is I think what the flag was a sideline warning on Hilldale. Hilldale was on that side over there, and it's just nice to know that they're calling on both sides.
Snap's good. It's on the block. The kick is up, and it's good.
Great play. Cameron Dumont, she was holding on that good snap, good hold, and Braulio Aguilar makes the nice kick down the middle.
Braulio's little brother kicks for the 7th grade team, Jesus Aguilar. His older brother, Julio, was the kicker for the varsity several years ago, one of the all-state soccer players that Wagoner had. I remember when they moved to Wagoner, their dad ran the Los Fuentes Mexican restaurant in Wagoner, and Julio came to town and couldn't speak any English. The first 2 weeks he was here, I kind of translated for him. I didn't know much of it myself, but I did know enough to order a taco. I helped him get his physical done and several things so he could play sports. And within 2 weeks, he's speaking better English than half of our students. Total immersion, as Mr. Van will tell you, is one of the best ways to go. Aguilar teeing up the ball for the Bulldog kickoff. 5:36 remaining. Your score: Wagoner Bulldogs 7, hosting Hornets 0.
Just what we need to do to start the ball game. Take the ball, punch them right in the mouth, and see what right at them. And we've talked a lot about how we've got a lot of teams we've played that have been bigger than we are. We kind of hold our own in the interior linemen, and then we just kind of get our speed takes over.
Orlandis Robertson in the middle with Braulio Aguilar. I think Orlandis is probably one of the headhunters, or is he going to be a safety? No, he's going straight up the gut.
That's a good spiral.
And that ball rolls out of bounds. Going to be a penalty on the Dogs.
Not sure exactly if we're going to kick it again or we're going to go where we are. It looks like we're going to stay out and go defense on the first down on the 35-yard line. Defensive team lines up. Back in the shotgun is going to be Court Morgan, number 11. Behind him is number 9, Wyatt Wolf, and number 14. 14 is Cecil Roden. Ball hands off inside to Roden. A great play inside by number 31, Tyler Probst. Tyler makes a great tackle on the inside. Gain of about 1.5, 2 yards. Bring up second down and about 8 yards to go. In the hurry-up offense once again, as we've talked about before, and we've mentioned more than once, our cornerbacks allow us to come up and play a lot of defense up close. Here's a fake, and there's a rollout. It gets to Roden, and it's going to be incomplete. Pass intended to Wolf. So it brings up third down and about 8 yards to go. Number 11, the quarterback, Court Morgan, rollout throw to White Wolf, incomplete. Third down. He was covered. I believe if he makes a catch, he's going to get some yards, but I don't think it's good enough for the first down. Trips out to the right side, split out to the left side is number 81, and 81 is Chris Dugan. There's a snap. He's rolling to his right side. Here comes the rush on, and there's a pass. It's completed, and Bryce Brown is right there for the tackle immediately. Fourth down, completed pass to Wolf, gain of 3 yards, 4th and 5. And we'll see what's going to happen. Are we going to punt the ball, or what are we going to do here? And they're calling a play, so we'll see what happens. 4th down and 5. They're going to call. I would watch the line here. They're going to jump and make a try to jump off sides, and there they do. We just talked about the offense, the hard count. Hard count's going to get them either there or close to it, and it is going to give them the first down. All they got to do is watch the ball, and we don't have this situation. Trips out to the left side. Here's a snap back, and that tackle inside. Great play inside. Tyler Probst, I believe. Excuse me, that's Orlando's Robinson. Makes the initial tackle. On the play, number 11, the carry, is Morgan, and he's tackled right away almost immediately inside by the interior lineman. This is one of those things where they may be a little bit bigger than we are on the interior line, but our speed is just taking over.
Speed kills.
Morgan takes the snap back, and he hands off inside to number 14, and that is Roden. Roden's grabbed immediately by Robertson, and it's taken down for another about a 3-yard loss. So we're looking now 3rd and about 14. Once again, I can hear the coaches yelling, watch the ball, watch the ball.
Robertson, I don't know. He had a double team that he was fighting off that time. He's a good-sized kid, a strong kid, and he's got a nose for the ball. He's playing tight end on offense and nose for D, and he was in the quarterback's face when he released that ball trying to make a pass. It's going to be 4th down and 14 for Hilldale.
Hard pass across the middle, and he had a good velocity on the pass, tipped by Tyler Probst. I think was the first guy that tipped it, and then Malcolm Rodriguez was there in position also. So neither of the players were out of position, so I think it's going to be a good play. And here's one thing that we'll see what they come up with. They got twins out to the left side. Well, now they're switching, moving one into tight.
Pulling them back in. We got Chris Murray deep to receive this punt.
I was going to say Wolf is going to kick it. There's the snapback.
Punt's in the air, and it's going to be a low bouncing kick. Murray's going to pick this one up. That's always dangerous when Murray gets it, and he's get wrapped up and beats him.
And we're going for a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown Wagoner. He's still got 50 yards to go. 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. 5 touchdown Bulldogs. He was wrapped up 3 different times, kept running backwards. I know he lost 15 yards on that return.
The only issue you have on that whole play is we made 3 blocks behind him that these referees could throw a flag anytime they want to. So we hit 3 guys after he ran past us. You don't have to do that. In some situations, you never know what they're going to throw. Cameron Dumont back to hold, and Braulio Aguilar is going to try to get the extra point. Here's the ball's down. Kick is up, and it's short.
Bounces off the bar.
Hits the bar and falls just short. 2:49 to play. First quarter, 13-0 in favor of the Bulldogs.
That was a great return.
It was one of those situations that, and I don't even know if you noticed it. I think, and I'm not even positive on this, but the ball was hit. It was punted so low and so straight that it hit one of our up men, and I want to think it might have been Tyler Probst that it kind of brushed his hand, and Chris was going to pick it up anyway. But it was one of those situations where we didn't. I don't think we realized we had to get that ball because that ball had already been touched one of our players. So Chris picks it up and heads to the left and towards the home side and gets grabbed by the jersey, and actually, the kid who grabbed him by the jersey probably sprung him for the touchdown because he spun him around and he spun him all the way back around the other way, and he came back the other way and came down the sideline for the long touchdown.
Once he gets ahead of them or even catches a little bit of a seam, they aren't going to get an angle on him. With his speed, he's hard to judge.
The best guy that had the chance, the only guy that had the chance to get him was Jake Gibson. Jake was number 83, and he was running right with him, and he had the shot to get him, but once he broke out, it was over with, so not much that they could do after that.
Aguilar kicks the ball from the 40-yard line. It's going to be caught at about the 10. Ran back number 8, and he is nailed at about the 24-yard line.
Yeah, that was Wyatt Wolf, number 9, got the ball. And as we talked about earlier, Wolf's one of those guys that we've mentioned his name a couple times already because he's just got a great physical ability about himself, and in their offense, we'll see what happens here. 2:34 to play first quarter. Morgan at the shotgun, number 11, takes a snap back, hands it inside to Roden, and he's hit immediately, number 51 for the ninth grade. I'm not sure who the 51 would be on that team. Well, we don't have the ninth grade roster, and he's one of those, a few that I don't know who they are. And I take that back. It's 61, sorry.
61. That's Wyatt Hankins, it looks like, but I couldn't be positive on that.
Here's Morgan on snapback pass. Is going to be way over out of bounds. So.
Got a sideline warning on the Hornets. Minute 37 remaining in the first period. Your score, Wagoner Bulldogs 19, Hilldale Hornets 0.
This is what happens when you miss an extra point. We go for 2.
Got Easy Mack and Milligan in the backfield.
No, I think it's Cameron Dumon's in tailback.
They're going to the right side this time.
Cody's standing down here next to Coach Nail. So
well, we're gonna pitch the ball to Dumont. He's going over the right side.
All right, Coach Williams. We'll see if you're right.
Pitch to Dumont, and he's going over the right side. He's in. Extra point is good. Your score 21-0 in favor of your Dogs.
1:37 to play in the first quarter.
I'm glad that they aren't listening to our broadcast over there. We'd be calling the plays all night for them, wouldn't we?
I'm telling you, it's a good thing that they can't pick up our broadcast from Hilldale, or we'd be in trouble. And I'd probably have to meet with Coach Condit in the morning about what we did.
This kickoff team could rival a lot of varsities. I mean, looking at some of these athletes we have out there, Braulio kicking the ball. I mean, it's gonna bounce down to the 12-yard line before they maintain possession of it. Easy Mac, Orlandis Robertson, Dumont, balls up, kick, high kick down to
This
about
is
the 12.
Roden.
Roden's got the ball and he's bringing it back, and he could go all the way.
And he's got a chance. The Dumont's got our last hope, and he makes him down.
Dumont makes a grab. We talked about the speed, and once again it saved us. Dumont's speed, I mean, he had him stride for stride and makes a diving shoestring tackle at about the 5-yard line. First and goal.
First down and goal, ball resting at about the 3-yard line, I believe, maybe 4-yard line. But I hate to say this, but the last 3 offensive plays they've ran went backwards, so they're not in the end zone. They're by any
No, they're
means.
not there yet. And
Snap back, handed back to Roden. He's down. He's going to be stopped for no gain.
Whistle blows his forward progress dead at the 2-yard line.
Oh, I guess they did give him a couple yards. I didn't think he got that far.
No, it didn't look like it from here.
1 minute to play.
In the first period. Dylan Jones covering the right side. They're going straight up the gut. And he's in for a touchdown.
The problem is, and we've talked about this 1,000 times this season already, once we get a 3-touchdown lead, you can score once in a while. You're not going to be able to stop us from scoring. So,
Right. And I believe our kids know that too. Looks like Hilldale's lining up to go for 2. Quarterback rolls to his left and throws the ball into the end zone, and it's going to go incomplete.
way far overthrown. So 21-6 the lead with 47 seconds to play first quarter.
That's a lot of points on the board for one quarter, Larry. They've thrown a lot of balls. They've got a lot of first and 10s. The clock's been stopped a lot. 47 seconds remaining.
And they're about to kick off, so we may not be out of points yet in the first quarter.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind putting another one on the board.
I think they're probably looking onside right here. I mean, I'm thinking onside's looking really good for them.
Better than kicking it to Murray or Milligan or Dumont. Hilldale lines up to kick the ball. The tack and the onside kick covered by the Bulldogs at the 48-yard line.
Whoever 61 was got that ball. We were talking about him earlier.
That's
so
going to be Hankins again, I bet. I'm not positive. I wish we had a roster.
Gage Shoemaker.
They pulled a couple of the normal front line that time to put a hands team out. Hilldale's been onside kicking all night long, all teams.
Dumon's in at tailback this time. As we were talking earlier, Cody and Dumont are going to rotate, and Cameron's in at tailback.
Zip motion, Murray. And
here's Orlandis,
Rodriguez
open again.
Rolls out the pass. Robertson catches the ball and falls immediately. The clock stops, 22 seconds. 1st and 10 at the Hilldale 35-yard line.
Once again, kind of one of those we've talked about before. Malcolm Karen handles the ball very well. Great ball handling skills. Throws the ball well on the run. That pass was a little bit behind him and made him have to come back for the ball. That ball's on stride. Orlandis may still be running.
This freshman bunch can do it all. They've got the tools. Zoom motion this time and inside trap.
Cameron Dumont on the carry.
Dumont goes for not much, maybe a yard. As the quarter ends, first quarter ending, your score, Bulldogs 21, Hornets 6. Once again, we'll give our props to our sponsors. Smokin' Sisters Barbecue, Cowboys Coney Island, Cherokee Temps, Runts Barbecue, Van Taekwondo, Rick Van Sensei, Cherokee Temps, Armstrong Bank, Three Rivers Surgical Center, Two-Way Sales and Service, Kangas Productions, Century 21 Charlotte Swinson. Second quarter is getting ready to start with the Bulldogs at their own 32-yard line. 2nd and 8 to go. Murray, scat back, takes it.
Straight back to him, and like I said, if you any way you can get the ball in his hands.
He's going to make something happen. Looks like a tough spot. Going to be 3rd and inches for the Dogs.
Well, this guy's got him moving on in front of the line, so at in front of the 25 to about the 24, so it's going to be first down.
Now they're moving the ball again, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's tough doing this because we got two guys marking. The one on our side is missing about every other mark. The guy on the other side is marking him and measuring him in different spots. So
I think they got the spot right now.
Oh, I do too. I believe it was the right spot.
1st and 10 Bulldogs from their own 25-yard line. Rodriguez back to pass, dancing in the end zone, throws it high and long. Wells catches the ball. Touchdown, Bulldogs, Nakia
Jones, great catch.
Great catch. Diving catch, gets his feet down as he's bouncing out of the back of the end zone. Excellent catch. I believe we're going to see more of him over the next couple of years.
I think he's one of those guys. We have a bunch of them, and he's one of those guys that has a chance to make an impact in this in the season for the Bulldogs.
Give our props to JC. JC.
She's not listening to you. Of course, you don't listen to anybody else either. So.
Bulldogs in the swinging gate. They're going to take the snap. Running to the right, makes the pass and catch into the end zone. Point after touchdown is good. 2-point conversion good. Going to bring it to 29. 29-6 Bulldogs. 7:23 remaining in the second. that 2-point conversion, they lined up in the swinging gate, snapped the ball to Dumont. Dumont's normally the holder. He's also one of the 3 quarterbacks this group has. Throws it to Bailey Darr in the end zone. Bailey Darr, one of the receivers that, on a team that throws the ball as well as they do and has as many weapons as they do, you'll say his name a time or two every night. Bailey Darr got good speed, good hands. Orlandis Robertson, he's had a couple of catches. Murray will always have a catch or two. Your 3 quarterbacks, Dumont Milligan and Malcolm Rodriguez starting the game. Malcolm's brother, one we talked about earlier, Roman, starting for the high school at middle linebacker. Dogs kicked the ball in a good return. Kid fought for everything he got, every inch. He brings it back to the Hilldale 35-yard line.
Roden once again on the kickoff return. Couple of guys ran right by him, had a good shot at him. Cody was one of them, had a shot at him and missed. And I believe Chris Murray had a shot at him and missed. And then he's come down here and taken down by Wyatt Probst.
That's one of the things, you got this great speed, and a lot of times they'll outrun the play. This is going to be a pass, and it's going to go to the cheap seats.
Yeah, incomplete pass. Good pressure that time by number 61, as we talked to him earlier, Gage Shoemaker. Shoemaker had a great pressure inside that time, along with number 32, and I believe that's Todd Brown. I'm not positive on that, but I think 32 is Todd Brown.
I believe you're right. That's going to be Caleb Brewer.
Okay, Caleb Brewer.
Brewer's 40 in red.
Yeah, and the number 30 here on the other end in the green shoes, Dylan Jones.
Dylan Jones, the green shoes. It doesn't matter what number you put on him, he's got green shoes on. That one, tackled for a loss. We've got 3-4 Bulldogs back there in the backfield.
Gage Shoemake and Art Wibby, 2 guys we've mentioned a few times already, right on top of the ball.
Wibby's had a great season. He
has, and he's one of those guys. We've got, we haven't really taken the time to mention the ones that are, but Art Wibby, Orlandis Robertson, the 3 guys you just mentioned, Malcolm Rodriguez, Cody Milligan, and Cameron Dumont, are all suiting up varsity for our number 1 ranked Bulldogs. So, not only do we recognize how good they are here, the coaching staff has recognized them, along with Chris Murray, of course. Chris Murray, and then, of course, we got KJ Lee, who's the star of the varsity team, too. That's a pretty good group that's a pretty good group of kids, and I believe, and I'm not 100% positive, so don't exactly quote me on this, but I believe he's leading our high school team in tackles.
I believe he is. If he's not, he was at one time.
And he's in the top 3. If he's not, for sure.
I know at one time, the first game he had 19 tackles in the first game. Hilldale's going to punt, high short punch, and a good bounce for the Hornets. Ball's going to roll dead at the Bulldog 45-yard line. Going to be 1st and 10. Bulldogs on their own 45. No, it's got to be tough on Lee. KJ being one of the staples on this team, middle linebacker and tailback. Been playing with these guys for years.
And playing with his friends. I mean, that's, not that he's not a very adaptable young man and where he's adapted to the guys he's playing with right now on the varsity team, but these are the guys he's grown up with. These are the guys he's played every snap with since he was little bitty. And now he doesn't get to be a part of it. It's got to be tough.
He's on the sideline every junior high game and doesn't get to go in. But he's taking a leadership role on this high school team. Great bounce outside. Milligan's met by 3 Hilldale Hornets and bounces off of him, reverses the field, and goes back back to the original line of scrimmage. What could have been a loss.
He was hit hard right off the bat. I thought he might have a chance to get outside a little bit, and I once again chose to run over a guy instead of running around him. So, and I think what Hilldale's done is, and he did on that play right there, is they're just sitting in the house. They're like, okay, if we're going to get beat, we're at least going to get beat running at you. And so, they're just coming at him right now.
Yeah. We've got our black pants coming back in. Nakia Jones Wells splitting wide out to the left. We got twins left, Bailey Darr and Nakia going heavy to the left side.
Once again, the defensive line, like I said, he's coming in. That on that play, number 64, that was William Dominguez.
Now, he was coming from that other side, from the end position on that left side, and we're running away from him. It looked like Milligan was looking for his seam or looking for the seam to open up in his blocks and waiting for the play to progress when he's caught from behind.
Well, I can tell you right now, 3rd down and 12, and you know who just walked on the field. So we'll see what happens here. Chris Murray's back in the shotgun.
Chris Murray going to go Wildcat?
He's going to walk out
I'm
with
sorry,
Cody
Mad
standing
Dog's
next
what
to
we
him.
call it, Wagner.
Yep.
And we're going to go heavy to the right side. Going to run Chris to the wide side of the field. Murray's got the ball in his hands, and he's going to the wide side of the field. And
he's going to go to the real wide side of the field.
And he's going to the long side of the field, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
No yellow flags on the field. Great block on the outside. Cody hit the very first guy, number 70. Big defensive end came in there, Tanner Thompson. And Tanner's a big boy.
Big boy.
And Cody smoked him right out and basically just stood him up. He didn't do anything but just stand him up pretty much.
Got him out of the way.
And got Murray
freed him up.
Crease, and it doesn't, like we've talked about 1,000 times, it don't take a lot. So 3:26 to play first half, and it's 35-6.
This is a track meet, Coach.
And we're pretty good in track, too.
We're pretty good in track, yeah. Looks like we're going for 1 this time. Well, we're short a man. Okay, here he comes. 67's
And I think Broglio pretty much says, okay, we're short a man. These guys are running at me, and I'm putting my foot up in the air. I don't want to be one of those guys to be the one I'm missing.
Boom, the kick is up, and it's good. Extra point for the Bulldogs is good, bringing the score 36 Bulldogs, Hornets 6. Aguilar puts the ball in the air, kicks long and high. It's going to bounce down to about the 5-yard line where it's picked up by the Hilldale Hornet, number 20. And Chavez gets a seam, but he is stacked up at the, 25-yard line. And flags fly. Late flag's going to be on Sportsman.
And it's going to be on number 70, Thompson, Tanner Thompson. He's just getting frustrated. I mean, it's 36-6. And
final freshman game.
Yeah, final freshman. And this team, we've talked today, talking to the coaches, this team is a good ball club. I think they're 6-1 or maybe even 7-0. They only lost one ball game on the year, I think. And the coach and Coach Humphreys told me he thinks they're undefeated, but I haven't had a chance to verify either one of those.
Right. I think that's right. I know they were the only one that gave us any competition when they were 7th graders.
And scrimmaging, and we scrimmaged them early in the year. It was a close ball game.
Right.
So the one thing about it that as we talked about, undefeated, they're in uncharted territory right here. They're not used to being behind 36-6, and as you said, if they're undefeated, they haven't been behind very much.
They got twins to the left, and they're going to run a sweep to the right, and it's going to be stacked up. Easy Mac Brown stands him up, and
Wyatt Wolf is the ball that carried the ball on that play. Looks like he might have lost a yard.
Looked like Rodriguez and couldn't see who the other number was there.
27, Bryce Brown was in there.
Easy Mac, yeah, Easy Mac.
Art Wibby, I think, was in on the play, and along with the number, I can't say, I want to say 45, that may be Todd Brown.
That's Todd Brown, yeah.
And this
coming
is
straight up the gut. 31.
Morgan came up, and that was a great carry by Morgan, tackled by Tyler Probst that time.
Probst really stepped up his game this season. He's had a great freshman year.
And we've said that a lot. There's been a lot of kids that when you got a team like a Chris Murray and a KJ Lee, you don't really have to do a whole lot, to be successful. So the fact that these kids have done what they've done,
But the older they get, it seems like other teams are starting to catch up with them, man for man. But
size-wise.
Size-wise, sure. Speed-wise, they can't touch us.
No, and I think when it comes down to it, like you said, if you've got any kind of speed, and one thing is that we have, and not just at this level, we've made comments about our varsity level. Our kids are very, very well coached, and it's one of those situations where it is we handle everything. Okay, clock's running, 30-point spread, and the clock's running. I was fixing, why is the clock still running? That's an incomplete pass, but when you get ahead by 30, the clock will run.
I thought that didn't start till the second half.
No, it starts whenever you get by 30.
Okay.
Now they've stopped it. Now he just said start it again, so I don't know. 4th down, and they're going to punt the ball away.
Murray deep to receive.
Now we got another guy running on off the field.
Personnel issues. I think they had enough time to get it done. Fall on it.
I don't know. I think that it was blocked, which it couldn't be returned, or it couldn't be, they couldn't pick it up, I think is what they were saying. But Bulldogs are going to get the ball right down on the goal line, so.
Bulldogs ball 1st and 10 on the Hilldale 15-yard line. 35 seconds remaining in the second. I believe we'll go in for one more before half.
I think they're going to see what Cameron can do here and use some speed.
Cameron's got the ball pitched to the left side, and he's going touchdown. Is that a flag that flew, or was that a towel?
It's a towel, but it was a flag. They're going to call holding.
I think that was a good call. We're going to try one right up the middle.
That's a run the clock out play.
Yeah. Ends the first half. Your score, Wagoner Bulldogs 36, Hilldale Hornets 6. Second half action started. Bulldogs kicked off the ball to Hilldale. Hilldale running back brings it back to their own 40-yard line. Now they're coming out passing. Incomplete. 2nd 10 from the 41-yard line. We still have the running clock down to 7 minutes. Hilldale has an inside trap. They run it right up the gut. It looks like Wagoner's running some players in and out that don't get time, trying to get some experience with some of the younger guys. Inside trap runs right up the middle for a 20-yard gain. Going to be called dead at the Bulldogs' 41-yard line. Out of shotgun, takes a snap, goes right up the middle again. This time quarterback keeps it, and he's stacked up for a 7-yard gain. Going to be 2nd and 3. They're going to spot it 2nd and 2 probably. Yeah. Anyone in New Mexico, I don't know where your dad went. Grandma's here. I would say he's talking to his mom. Yep, there he goes. At his age, I think he made a jaunt to the other side of the field for a few minutes. Once again, out of shotgun, quarterback runs the option. They're going to roll out to his left, bootleg, and decides to keep it. And he's going to be stacked up for a 3-yard gain. Going to be brought down after maybe 5. It's going to be 2nd and 5 from the Bulldogs' 25. Big Dylan Jones comes in and makes a stop this time for the Bulldogs. From his defensive end position, stud end comes in and makes a stop and gets pulled for his efforts. They're letting a younger guy come in, or going to let one of the less experienced guys come in and get a chance to prove himself, get some time on the field. As they're still running the clock, less than 5 minutes to play in the 3rd period. Easy Mac makes a stop for the Bulldogs. No gain. 4th down, 4 yards to go, 4 down territory. From the shotgun, I'm looking for a hard count this time, and no. Takes a snap, and option is going to be stopped short. Bulldogs will take possession of the ball at their own 21, 22-yard line. John French on that play. Bulldogs try one right up the middle, and it's stopped for no gain. As the clock continues to run, 3:40 remaining in the 3rd period. Don't know who that was to. It was a direct snap to one of the halfbacks. It's going to be for about a 3-yard loss. It's going to be 3rd down and 14, 15 yards from the Bulldogs' 16-yard line. Bulldogs take the knee as they have an injured Hilldale Hornet on the field. He gets up under his own power and goes back. He's coming off the field. Number 9 for Hilldale coming off the field. Plays to 8.
No fatalities or broken bones.
We run a sweep to the left side motion. Murray gets enough for the 1st and 10 as he's knocked out of bounds.
Knocked out of bounds by Jake Gibson, number 4.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what we were doing there because the clock was running on us, but we were just kind of letting everybody else play until we need a first down.
Give the ball to Murray, let him get the 1st and 10, run out of bounds, and 2 minutes remaining in the third as the Bulldogs go back to the line. We've got a couple of kids with black pants on the line. This time it's going to be Condit and Pena. And Dumont takes the pitch and goes around the right side, and he's breaking tackles and goes for the 1st and 10 plus 10. He's going to get 20-yard gain. Going to be 1st and 10 Bulldogs on the Hilldale 45-yard line.
Clock's still running, and we'll probably run the quarter out here in this short part of this drive. I know that as you can see, the coaches there kind of putting the playbook away. Last game of the season, last game, and we haven't mentioned this so far this year, or excuse me, this game, and you mentioned it a couple times in our conversations. But this group will finish their middle school, junior high, however you want to call it, careers tonight, undefeated, never losing a football game.
Never lost a game. Going to have a handoff to Easy Mac Brown as he goes to the left side. Easy Mac trucks his intended tackler, gets an extra 5 yards out of it. Easy Mac Brown, tough, strong run. Good for 20 yards and another 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs to the 26-yard line of Hilldale. Easy Mac, you can see the wrestler in him. He comes from a long line of athletes, with his uncle being a one-time Wagoner Bulldog coach. He went on to be a head coach at Pecola and then on to Muldrow to coach a little bit. His dad and his grandpa was in your position at one time, our high school principal.
Very, very good athlete, and as we talked about, looking forward to his season, what you want to call it, is the wrestling season coming up.
That's going to be Probst running through tacklers and goes in for a touchdown for the Bulldogs. Tyler Probst blowing up the first 3 would-be tacklers and goes the 20 yards in for a touchdown. Bulldogs going to extend their lead to, 42-6?
42-6, and that's going to end the third quarter. After this conversion, will be an untimed down on the conversion.
Tell you what, Probst is one that I've been impressed with. His big brother plays a lot for the Bulldogs, and last year was Mike linebacker, and this year moved up to the line, and gave his position went to Roman and KJ playing those linebacker positions, and with his size and strength, he's been an asset to our line. That kick is up and good. PAT good for the Bulldogs, bringing the score 43-6. Probst, little Probst, the last 3 years I've seen him grow as an athlete and grow in character. His work ethic on the practice field has made a huge difference in his game.
Well, surprisingly to me, and being that we're not the best in all the rules here, clock is running. We have 7 minutes now left to play in the ball game, so we didn't wait to start on the untimed down. They actually started to put the clock up for the fourth quarter and started it, and it's running. So 7 minutes to play in the ball game, 43-6 in favor of your undefeated Bulldogs.
These kids were up for the game. I know I talked to a couple of the freshmen earlier today when I was out by the field house doing a little project with some of the kids, and they were talking about, Hilldale, the coach has been telling us how good they are, and Hilldale really expected to come in here tonight and give us some competition, give us a game, and the Bulldogs were up for it, up for the challenge, and I haven't seen very many mistakes from our dogs. Kicks good to Hilldale, and Hilldale returns the ball out to the 35-yard line or their own 34, 33-yard line. Depends on where they decide to spot it this time.
Putting in a lot of new white jerseys out there on the field defensively. Looks like Bradley Evans is going to go in on left cornerback. James Current back here at safety, number 18. Bailey Dars in safety, number 15. And Colton Risley in the secondary over at number 16. So Interior linemen, a lot of the same guys, not all of them, but a few of them the same guys, but the secondary is 4 brand new guys.
See Easy Mac Brown out there and Dylan Jones still on the field. They completed a pass. Hilldale got their first completion of this half, and it's good for about a 7 or 8 yard gain as he's brought down. Looked like a turf monster jumped up and got him.
Michael Hornback, and he's frustrated because he had a lot of room to go.
Dylan Jones, Talena's going to see him coming out at this. Oh, stick! Oh, that passing. As soon as that ball was in his hands, Risley.
Well, they call it. Well, the announcer said pass incomplete. Now they're saying pass complete.
I say we give it to him. Anybody gets stuck that hard deserves something out of it. Risley lit him up.
Handoff inside and hit right away by Art Wibby and a host of other Bulldog linemen, and Braulio Aguilar comes up with the ball.
Aguilar stripped it as he was going down, but I think they're going to let Hilldale keep it, and I don't see any Wagoner coaches complaining with a 35, 36-point lead, 37-point lead. Flags fly. False start on Hilldale as the clock continues, 4:42 remaining. That was a stick. That was a good stick.
One of those kind of like what we saw in the 8th grade game.
Yeah, I started to say it was the stick of the night, but I don't know that it was. That was another good hit tonight.
That was the stick of the night because it was our guy doing the hitting.
Yeah, I liked it a lot better. Nice pass, and Hilldale players coming down with a reception at the 40-yard line, good for a 1st and 10. He was covered well, but he had about a foot advantage on our corner. 16 Risley on this side.
Grant Sykes was the guy who made the catch.
Good concentration, made the catch and stepped out of bounds. 3:58 remaining in the game as the clock continues to run. Quarterback options, decides to keep it. Risley making the tackle after a 1st and 10. Tell you what, I know a lot of these kids on this freshman team were worried when the season started and KJ was strictly a varsity player because they'd never attempted a game without him since they've been in junior high ball. And, you know, he did so much for them and carried so much of the load. And they've had success without him. And I think that's a boost for them and for the program as a whole. I know a lot of them have stepped up. I know Caleb Brewer at that middle linebacker position. I mean, if you're in a position where you're a starting middle linebacker for this freshman group and you've been behind KJ for the last couple of years, you begin to wonder when you're going to get your shot. You know, something besides the 4th quarter. But he's answered the call, as well as Todd Brown. Dylan Jones, you know, doing a great job. Several of them have really stepped up. And Tyler Probst, you know, several of them stepped up in the positions.
And one of the things that when you lose a guy like him, and he is a dominant defensive player. Matter of fact, we've watched him in the scrimmage early in the year against McAllister where he did play on the JV team, or excuse me, on the freshman team. It was a situation where you have a I mean, if you remember that series, he played like 6 plays, had 2 carries for 2 touchdowns, and had 4 tackles on 4 carries. So he was such a dominant player that when he stepped off the field, when he was done, your interior guys, your Art Wibbies, your Arlandis Robertsons, guys like that had to step up and really, you know, dominate a play simply because you were in a situation where...
No, we got the ball stripped loose. Bulldogs are going to take the ball at the 1-yard line. Bulldogs, I mean, you talk about bad luck. They've shot themselves in the foot. Hilldale's carrying the ball in, and the kid's trying to make an extra yard or two and gets the ball stripped, and Bulldogs jump on it on the 1-yard line. You're saying Wibby and those guys stepping up. You know, losing a kid like KJ is got to be devastating, but when the rest of them, it's made them better.
Coach Condo was just confirming we were right. It was 24-0. One thing that we've talked about, when they started their season, they had 3 guys.
Hey, 25. This is going to be 25.
The biggest thing that you were looking at is you've got. I think they got Coach Charbonneau with a little bit of water bucket there.
Sharby gets the water bucket. I teach them everything they know about football, and Sharby gets the water bath, and I'm glad because it's cold tonight.
Not just that, you saw who was ringleading that whole thing. KJ Lee was right in the middle of that. So you can expect a lot of guys to do something, but KJ is not one of them you usually expect to do anything. So, and now they're going to get somebody else.
Water bucket.
Now they're going to get somebody else. I just don't know who they're going to get, or they're planning on it anyway.
Uh-oh. It's going to be Coach Bell. Coach Bell gets the bath. Coach Bell started this group in 7th grade.
3, 2, 1.
He was
That's
one
the
of my
ball game.
assistant. Coach Bell was the assistant on this group in 7th grade, and he gets to follow them through their 9th grade year. Great job from the Bulldogs. 24-0 in a junior high career. That's a great thing. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Smokin' Sisters Barbecue, Runts, Van Taekwondo, Century 21 Real Estate Charlotte Swinson, Kangas Productions, Two-Way Sales and Service, Three Rivers Surgery Center, Armstrong Bank, Cherokee Temps, and Cowboys, Coney Island. Thanks. Have a good night. Be safe.